All right, I'm going to push back on you, Jimmy Butler thing.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's
hear it.
I want a clean fight.
Right. So I actually don't think this is Jimmy's fault.
Okay.
He did go in with a win everything attitude. I'm reading the roster. Every single person got traded away to be a second or third piece. None of them were leaders who wanted to win.
Question: Is this Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Got it.
I hold for the fact that it was a garbage office.
I think that he never wanted to go there, and this was his way out. Now, I will say, going to the media before practice was over, for one, genius.
Yeah.
All right, we're playing chess at this point. Because he had to plan this out.
Chess, he's playing nuclear warfare.
But he had to. We're playing chess. He pulls out a newsie.
Yeah.
He had to plan that before.
He had to. I bet you he probably thought about it, called his guy in the media, and went, I'm about to do something stupid at practice. Meet me after.
Both Cat and Wiggins went to somewhere where they had one or two guys above them.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be leaders anymore.
Right.
Like Cat
was many years later, but yeah.
Many years later, but that's where he's thriving.
Yeah.
When he doesn't have any pressure.
And then Wiggins, he
didn't even have to play.
Yeah. He got the ring that year, the year after he left.
Oh, he decided to play only in the finals.
Yes.
Lost.
But that was
the only time he tried.
You know, sometimes you show up and sometimes you don't. Like, I think that was the whole point. Then I'm going to argue again that 76ers was not a big difference. I want you to listen to who he dragged to the playoffs with Joel Embiid. Okay? I'm going to list everybody who played in that game. Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Tobias Harris.
Okay.
Which is, he's a scorer, but he's not a killer.
No.
Joel Embiid.
Okay, that's fine.
We all know Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was technically good at that point.
At that, yeah.
Yeah, he was defensively good and playmaking good, absolutely. JJ Redick.
Yeah.
I've now completed my list. In that game, the only other people to clock minutes, and I'm talking, let me just see how many
Just some, like, take a breather minute.
Mike Scott, out of the league. James Ennis III.
Okay.
Who? Exactly. Which, honestly, I think it's James. Yeah, James Ennis III, not the worst player in the world. He just...
Right.
He's
not
like
a name.
backup.
No, he's just a guy.
Greg Monroe clocked 1 minute as their only backup big.
Wow.
That was it. That was the entire squad. They drug through the playoffs to then take the champions to 7.
Right.
And then next year, Joel Embiid gets hurt, which you can argue, okay, he gets hurt, you wait. But then you see how the medical staff treats him, where we know Philly isn't right.
I think they got rated like the worst medical staff in the NBA, I believe.
Well, their mistreatment of Joel Embiid stopped, arguably.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have been a generational talent. Mm-hmm. But if I was in Jimmy's shoes, I go to a team where Andrew Wiggins was the second pick under Anthony Bennett, which is the funniest thing I've ever heard. Because I think he played for like 1 year and then was out.
He's like, oh, I'm gone.
But he went to a team that, honestly, the Stars were the least star-like players I've ever heard of.
Right.
Because Andrew Wiggins is not that guy.
I think Cat wasn't a star yet.
Cat ain't that guy. Well, he was a scorer.
He was scoring, but he wasn't doing.
I think Kevin
else.
Garnett would agree with me that scoring is not the same as being a star.
No, goodness gracious, no, yeah.
And then he goes to a team where it's like medical malpractice on the court. I'd be out. I'd be out of both teams. Now, do I agree with the way he left Minnesota? No, I agree with the way he left Philly.
So I'm
gonna express to the media because that's just the way it works now.
No. I personally just don't like. It's the same reason why I don't like certain people to win. I don't like their mentality on how they win it. It's not to me the way. Again, this is me.
Sure.
Personally, I just hate the way that he acts towards other teammates at that point, or acts towards an organization.
You look though, this is his MO because he did it with Timberwolves.
Yeah,
sure.
He did it with 76ers. He did the same thing with Miami.
Yep.
Where like he went in there and his training practice, like, I just don't have no joy no more.
Yeah.
No joy, and these guys are good. And it's like, bro, the third time.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's
your
at some
only way
point
out
you have to notice a pattern at that point.
Sure, you do.
It's not 100% his fault, but it's sure.
But
he's
sticking
not
through
helping
it,
the matters.
6 years in Chicago, where he was the guy.
That's what it should have been.
Chicago was because was he playing at the same time as D Rose too?
Yes,
for a minute.
And then he and D Rose both end up on the Wolves.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because that's why we had Thibodeau. We tried to recreate that Bulls
Chicago.
Team,
I don't know.
5 years later.
I don't know if it was actually.
We had
because D Rose
like
scored 50 points,
pieces.
and I don't know if Jimmy Butler was he there when D Rose scored 50.
No, they weren't. They didn't cross. They didn't cross.
No, we had Jimmy first, and then D Rose when he came back.
Man, that made me put a tear in my eye. I thought someone was cutting onions.
But and then he stuck with Miami for 6 years. I mean, how long do you give an organization?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, 6 years.
Look, he's given them. Okay, look, fair. He's given a couple of those teams some longevity.
Now, them, no. But again, if I show up,
I'm not arguing that.
If I show up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to. He knows he's not the guy.
No,
Jimmy knows that he is the second best player on the best team for sure. I think he knew that even back then because he wanted Cat to be the guy because Cat had the potential to be that guy.
But again, it comes down to there wasn't a winning culture there. That was
absolutely
the main point. Is like Cat didn't have that
absolutely
fire.
Not.
And I'm not saying Jimmy Butler doesn't want to win, but like look at the difference when he was there with Cat and when Ant got there with Cat. And it's like, he went in there and he was like new and he's doing his thing, but then like you could start to see when he's starting to get elevated a little bit.
But I don't think Ant changed Cat.
No,
Ant got them to trade Cat.
No, true. But what I'm saying is he found a way to become the star there and make it work.
So it's also, to me, it's also how you mesh with your players.
Yeah.
Or do you have to be the hard-headed jerk the entire time?
Right.
Or do you change your personality? You can still have that same drive.
Yes.
You just may not criticize everybody, out coming out the gate.
Yes.
You change the way that you lead at that point. That's what a good leader does.
But I think
you improvise.
I agree, and that is a fair again another Timberwolf, Kevin Garnett. He couldn't change. He can't change. He still can't change.
Right.
No.
And he's even addressed that. That's why. He went on Jeff Teague. I'm going to just shout out Jeff Teague every time. He went on there and he said that's why he goes and does the podcast because he was so mean to everybody.
He's
literally going to make amends. Yeah. He's like that's just who I am. That's just how I do it.
To counterpoint, you're all right. 6 years on a team. When are they going to happen? Yeah. Maybe people just don't want to play with him because they don't want to deal with that type of personality. Because it's the same as why do you have big threes that come together? Because they want to play with those guys.
Yeah.
And so it can go the other way. It's something, hey, what about a trade package or whoever? I don't want to play with Jimmy Butler.
You could say that, right? You could say that. But then again, the stats don't lie. When Jimmy was on 76ers and when he was on Miami, they were 2 games away. They went to the finals.
Stats mean nothing.
Sure, he did go to the finals.
He was carrying the team.
Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double, and he's still
But it's the difference.
Stank.
It's a difference. Never even making a conference. I took you all the way to Game 6 of the finals. And then my entire team got in.
But again, bad-mouthing the rest of them the entire way.
No, the other time was like conference finals.
Well, it's 2020 for sure.
Yeah.
But he was still bad-mouthing the entire way. He was dragging them, kicking and screaming.
Not up to this point. Yeah. Not up to this point. But when they were in the finals, he wasn't bad-mouthing anybody. That's when they were the love triangle. Remember, they were doing interviews and they're all holding his head on coffee cups. They all loved each other. Then.
The bubble year was hilarious because that's the best Miami looked, and they could have. I feel like they could have beat the Lakers, but Jimmy was gasping for air.
Right.
In Game 3, he's on the floor
So they went 20 games twice in his career in Miami and 17 once. So that's good postseasons. Mm-hmm. That's 3 years he went 17 or more games. Okay. He averaged 27, 27, and 22 as points. And he was the best defender on the floor. I mean,
we're not criticizing his ability here.
Golden State's
I'm criticizing entirely his
Golden State's getting, and I say that, and he's still doing
I'm criticizing, first and foremost, his mentality as a leader. That's what I'm criticizing.
Sure. For sure. But that was the same thing. Jordan, Kobe, everybody says the same mentality. Kevin Garnett, they all got the same thing. Russell Westbrook gets it. They all do. Yeah. So I don't know. I think as a second fiddle, he falls in because now he's buddy with Curry. He's taken over his leadership style.
That's true.
I think that he knows he's second fiddle, so he's just finding first fiddle.
Right.
He thought it would be Cat and Wiggins.
Yeah. Well, I think he's also gone through enough where he knows that personality doesn't work well, though.
I don't think so because you see him talk to the younger guys and he's still doing the same thing. He's like the mean uncle.
That's ribbing though versus the vicious beforehand though. This is you can tell he
was ribbing with Miami before.
All these the last couple of years when they were doing the jokes he's doing the jokes of
dude, his media day is the best.
Yeah.
His what was it versus him and his little rookie last year and they kept drawing back and forth. Sure. You could tell that was good natured. Whereas before he's always thrown shade, sarcastically or not.
I wouldn't say at Miami. He actually the first few years he was very complimentary. He was complimentary both of Tyler Hero and Duncan.
I think he
and then
he realized what his role needed as a leader. I think his leadership style started to change in Miami.
I think so?
Because he had a hard time in Chicago towards the end. Obviously Timberwolves. Yeah. He got to Miami, I think, with the same sort of or Philly, right? Yeah. He gets to Philly and he's like, bro, what the hell? He's doing the same thing and it just didn't work. Yeah. And he went to Miami and he's like, it's all young dudes. Other than maybe a couple,
he's like, it was young guys.
He's like, great, I got to carry my little brothers down here. Because, like, I think he realized you have to carry a team, and the best way to do that is when everybody on your team is 2 years or less.
Right.
You know, because of that, and I think that's why now he's mellow. Right. Because I think now he understands.
But I think it's also, I guess we don't know the talks that happened in that locker room during practices.
It's all
like,
hearsay.
For example, like the Last Dance kind of showed that kind of behind the scenes of like how Michael Jordan was, you know, outwardly a jerk to his teammates, but he showed it in the way that, all right, lead by example at that point. He outworked, and Kobe outworked and led by example at that point. Whereas
you would argue showing up and playing with a third string and beating your starters is outworking.
Well, but that's not outworking. That's humiliating. That's different. Because he didn't go, hey, look, this is how good these guys... Because a good leader would say, I beat you with third stringers. Let's see how good we can make everybody.
Sure.
Whereas he just said, I beat you with third stringers. You guys all suck.
I think looking at
There's a big difference.
I think looking at the final straw is different than all the straws that broke the camel's back. Because if I show up and I practice, and I'm watching Kat eat popcorn in the thing, and I show up and I practice,
double cheeseburgers,
and I'm watching Andrew Wiggins take phone calls instead of running laps.
Again,
and I show up. So I'm not saying, but I'm saying we're looking at the one event. If I'm outworking you all this time, and it's like, oh, he's not outworking him. No, he definitely outworked him. He definitely did. He has at most of it. In the Bulls, he outworked
Again,
him.
it's there's nothing wrong with the outwork, but just like with like Kobe and Michael Jordan, you outwork and then encourage.
I don't think Kobe has never been encouraging in his life. Look what he did to Jeremy Lin.
Look
what he did for Nick Young.
Yeah, but then there's a couple guys where there's somebody go, hey Kobe, can I, give me some tips? And he goes,
but the difference
meet me here, and he beats them by 3 hours getting there early. But this is the difference. That's how you do it.
You're judging Kobe on the sum, and you're judging Jimmy on the one, right? Because you're saying all that outwork early because he was like he's shown himself like he stuck with Chicago. He tried to help, and that was Young. Minnesota and 76ers, it didn't work out. Minnesota, he had that. He gets to Miami, he helps everybody and their buddy. He's doing all that part. Now, it ended poorly, but you can't just judge on the end. Like, if I stay and I'm trying to help.
But there's a series of consequences that lead to that end, though. Obviously, something didn't work out. Obviously, with 76ers...
I would say your examples to call back to Kobe and Michael are the worst ever. Michael was known to be the hardest working jerk in the world. Jerk in the world. Like, look at the starting five. Like, literally, everybody hates him. Everybody who played with him hates him. Everybody.
No, I agree.
Look, so, and the same with Kobe. Like, everybody... Shaq couldn't stand Kobe for, like, a huge portion.
Michael and Kobe are they're, it's tough because, like, with Michael Jordan, like, I get what you're saying with, like, the elevate part because it's, like, he was a bit of an ass, right? That's why you said a lot of his teammates don't like him now.
Yeah.
But it also is that thing where, like, in the moment...
Yeah.
Like, with the best example I have is, like, with Kerr. Or something like that. Where it's like, dude, okay, Kerr would be like, dude, we hated each other. We got into an argument. We got into a fight. But then Michael's like, I'm going to throw you the ball. You better bring it. Like, he encouraged the, prove me wrong, then I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
But I think there's one through line, and this is going to be like, this is just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I'm like, but look at the Bulls, look at Minnesota, look at Miami, which Miami's the only outlier, and then Philly, right?
Sure.
They all are pretty trashly run. Like, they all have horrible, they're known horrible organizations who, once Chicago had Michael Jordan and Pippen in that team, once that stopped,
everybody knows they have an awful.
They didn't know what they're doing. Minnesota don't know what they're doing. There hasn't for a while. It's the closest they've had,
and only because we now have new management.
I was going to say this is a completely different everything.
Yeah. Philly notoriously doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Miami's the only one that is stuck in, but a lot of that's Spoelstra. Pat Riley, I think right now is in the weirdest time of his life.
Yep.
And I think and I'm not going to say they only won because of who they had before, but like. Look at who they had.
Yeah.
You had Spoelstra at the peak of his coaching career. You had 3 of the biggest stars in the world.
Of course.
Like, they got you the top.
Yeah, if you bring in those 3,
you're gonna win. So like the problem, but there's a reason why some of these teams it's just I think it's where you start. What team do you start at?
Yeah.
Like some of these guys who go to Orlando could be stars.
Paolo Banchero.
But and look at him though. He's a killer. He's a killer, but no one barely talks about him.
Yep.
He'll die in Orlando, or he'll wait till his contract's up and he won't be the same player anymore.
Right. Sure.
So there's obscurity island. Like, if you end up on a certain level, you either have to be fortunate enough to get to a championship caliber team right away,
right,
or you're going to be in Chicago or Timbers Wolves and you're just going to be stuck there. And so I think it's a tough because, like, I don't put it all on Jimmy because there is a couple of proof. There's a couple of proof that he tried, right?
Yeah.
But I think at a certain point, like, with Miami, I think his last 2 years, 100% was a problem with the organization, not his players or teammates.
Yeah.
I think he enjoyed his Miami teammates. So I think it was more Pat Riley. I think it was like just being there. He saw that we're not making any moves to help.
That's
him.
also the thing.
Like, he's like, we're
paying Duncan Robinson star money
to
ride the bench for 4 minutes a game.
And when you see that as Jimmy Butler, you're gonna be like, I don't want to be here anymore. I can't do this anymore.
And when Duncan was taking the big shots, he was rooting Duncan on.
Duncan in 2020-21 was a killer.
No minutes, and it's like, dude, this isn't working. You have to make changes. The organization,
took him out of the lineup, and then you paid him star money.
So to piggyback off of your point, what's the difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe? Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
A good person behind him.
Championship caliber coach.
Sure. Yeah.
And like to your point, nobody was there in Jimmy Butler's corner in any of those teams.
100%.
You're saying like to your point, he dragged everyone by himself. Well,
you would argue he's in a good environment for the first time of his career.
For the first time.
Well, and he's thriving in that position.
Right.
Of course, he does have Steph, even though it's like
it's the whole thing of what's the culture of the team that you're going to and from.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson created a winning mentality at all costs with the right people.
Right.
And then all of those other ones were, you're a star player, good luck, and I hope you don't die alone.
Well, and there's a huge difference, because like if you look at Michael Jordan and Kobe,
and Kerr Kerr is a direct descendant from Phil Jackson.
That's true.
From Phil Jackson, of course.
And so he gets not even just that. Look where he's thriving now.
Played under Phil.
5 championships.
Was an assistant coach under Greg Popovich for years.
Yeah.
So I mean, this line that he's been under.
You see this through
now, if anything, you make my point that Jimmy Butler is now thriving under a coach and GM
100%.
who knows how to do
that. I
that.
agree with that, but I think judging the way in which he forced an exit, player only has so many options. What's your options to force an exit?
Well, demand it. Yeah.
Media, or teammates. I either have to create. I can tell the media I want to trade, or I can tell front office. Let's face it, Timberwolves, they don't care. They don't care.
No.
Miami didn't care because they just don't. They know
because they knew what they were at that point too.
They knew
they also knew where they were at that point. They're like,
so then the only way to force out is to create such a stink that you get rid of me. So it's my only option. And he learned in 6 years.
James Harden got fat.
Honestly,
he literally got fat.
There's really no difference.
He's like, I won't say anything to the media.
I'll eat yourself.
I'm going to go party. I'm going to strip clubs. I'm going to do this.
My teammates are going to hate me either way.
Yeah.
So, that's all I'm saying. I think for Jimmy, he had to work. He worked. He was a JUCO player. Mm-hmm. He didn't even get scouted. He worked from JUCO to the NBA. So you can't say he didn't outwork you, but he outworked everybody.
No, never did.
So then you get to the team, and it's like, oh, they're not working. I want out. There's only so many ways. And then I talk to my agent. Agent's like, yeah, they're not going to trade you. Oh, they'll trade me. They will trade me.
Like, we'll figure this out.
I will call out this team's problem right now, and I'll do it in a glorious fashion.
Golden State pissed me off, but they had to win with the team. Yeah. Lakers won the bubble, but for the most part, it was a team effort.
It was a team effort.
When you have Boston was a team effort. Team effort is...
OKC was definitely a team effort.
OKC was the prime example of a team effort. You needed everyone.
Nuggets
beforehand.
100% a team effort.
That's why the team effort is finally coming back.
Yes.
So now it's like, okay, Butler, I think, realized I can't be the star.
Yeah.
I only have a big three.
Yeah.
I've tried that. I need to work on a team.
Yeah.
And the team is happened to be a championship team.
Yeah.
They know what they're talking about. Kerr is your coach. He respects them all.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, he has nothing to lose now.
It's actually playing under a coach has to be refreshing.